Hello, Olgeta. Welcome back in long number 2 session. Lo today we make at one lo morning and one lo afternoon. Yeah? And thank you. We start for them page long Digital Week 2026. Before you may continue lo session, them you and them you customize by you make a one short prayer before you make that session. Yeah. Papa God, where you start heaven, thank you lo time. When we bless have a cut back in. Lo talk lo people lo this for the country Vanuatu. Lord, this digital week where we start today. We pray that session niya by mi sabe help mi fla talk Lord people Lord mi fla sabe understand them when them now roles Lord different organization or government the side long resilience more connectivity Lord this fella country. Be with us now, Lord. Me will I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Today, this morning, we talk about half part long digital resilience and a connected world, or some theme, global theme, strengthening digital resilience in a connected world. This afternoon, Bamba Yumi focus more on connected world part for this statement. Global scene, some one day where World Telecommunications and Information Society Day. And this week, is the lead up to that day. So global theme, talamonsem, in a world that increasingly depends on uninterrupted connectivity, the resilience of our digital networks is essential. Digital lifelines, terrestrial networks, submarine cables, satellites, and data systems form the backbone of our communities and economies. So, the World Telecommunication and Information Society Day 2026 calls on governments, industries, and communities to strengthen the digital lifelines that keep the world running. So join us or join the global community in designing the networks and the systems that can withstand shocks and recover quickly, ensuring that no one is cut off and left offline when it matters most. So thank you. With that, we want them welcome him all panelists lo Yumi. And session lo Yumi lo Vanuatu perspective. The session will bring together key stakeholders to explore strategies for advancing secure, inclusive, and resilient connectivity. In this context, I will introduce our panel members. So first of all, me Nemblomi Andrew Molifurai, the officer in charge of Internet Governance and ICT Law TRBR. Next Lomi Hemi John Jack, we Hemi Director, Department of Communication and Digital Transformation. Next one Hemi Diraj, we Hemi Deputy Country Director, Global Green Growth Institute, Triple GI. And then next lo hemi Sarah McCartney, we hemi Country Director for SPC. And last but not least, hemi Niall Downey, we hemi General Manager for Interchange Vanuatu. And me want them to join me as we welcome these great panels. These are leaders in our country where Pambai you miss town for the next time we listen lo Olketa. So first of all, without further ado, by me give him time lo Director long Communication and Digital Transformation. Hemi got two questions where by hemi talk lem, by hemi relate lem. First one, hemi talama say, what is the government's long-term strategy for achieving universal and resilient connectivity across all islands? Number two question, hemi, how can ICT policy be further aligned to support both connectivity expansion and national disaster resilience priorities? So to the questionnaire by Director Hemi share a bit lo behalf lo Vanuatu government. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for having us in this panel. Believe it was a great session in the morning. But with them question also way stop. Yumi lo Vanuatu, we are not one landmass. We are made up of islands, and therefore how Yumi look lo, and also the fact that we are prone to natural disaster. So we are made up of islands. We are prone to natural disaster, and we have all sort of other challenges apart from the disaster. So therefore, emi bringing one challenge ikam lo Yumi as a nation, lo how Yumi look lo side lo development lo connectivity ikolol islands to Yumi. And so time where Yumi looking how Yumi want them make them planning lo side lo network connectivity lo connect them all islands to Yumi must think lo side lo sustainability. Yumi must think lo side lo how best Yumi sabe make them use lo resources where Yumi got lo Yumi connect them full up lo places plo Yumi lo Vanuatu, knowing that some places lo Vanuatu Yumi got population where Yumi tell them say Yumi small. Some villages we have less than 200 people in the village. So lo side plo all commercial operators or private mobile network operators, so you find them really challenging lol kita local places here. So lo side lo address memia government emi come up with them all policies where you mean address them no more connectivity or look how you mean sabe help them or incentivize them all mobile network operators ploli reach him all population ya will stop. You must look lo side lo reliability. You must look lo side lo how you must help them all citizen all villages ya all communities ya only make them good use lo mobile connectivity once we receive him all geta. So you got a few number of factors where you must be mindful of time where you come work them. You come up with them all policies or strategies to make them say you must have connect them maximum population to you lo Vanuatu. And most importantly, you must think about to say time where all disaster all this stuff happen, how resilient now by all network all this have stand. All this have stand against them all disaster way you must have some man you must have good you may face them all category 5 cyclones you may face them a lot of floodings full up all and then of course earthquake where you may look him one them where may happen lo Port Vila and then recently lo Luganville. So you may got all people challenges here where government by him knows have look no more lo side lo spread them out connectivity no more but him must be mindful too lo all narval factors here will at play. You make them say, also by me tell them say, country blue me special or one way where you must look at things at a broader spectrum rather than just focusing on connectivity. So hemena we me one where you want to make them sure say all policies blue me all capture them all area. Yeah. Now, time where you may talk about remote connectivity, you may talk about resilience, you may talk about disaster resilience, you may talk about meaningful connectivity, and then comes the cost. How now one small population, one small village, afford them connectivity in terms of buying credit, no phone, or buying data, have access to the internet. Then all areas you need him more proda look lo side lo how you may empower them all ketap lo all isabe cut that affordability. So increase the affordability and one mechanism one something to government must look them. And so lo policies where you may cut now yeah and then you may lo last lo 2024 you may launch digital transformation master plan where you more broad in a way that you may try to address them all narvala area and see what are the potentials out there lo side for technology you may use plo Yumi try bring him all thing ay come together, and then connectivity and foundational blah everything. So by me answer in short, totalemol sem say lo side lo Yumi lo government Yumi look lo side lo increasing connectivity, Yumi look lo side lo increasing affordability, and making sure that connectivity where you may putum or you may stop talk about emi must be resilient plemitim or targets or sorry plemitim or stand them or disaster where you must face from where government broadband network where emi andalo department of communications mo digital transformation emi stop manage a total of 9 microwave towers where you cut lo country. Imekem se Yumi by mitalam se Yumi no talk no mo, pe Yumi actually experience him how to manage him one network or seman. Of course, all operators all kata one pika network pitim lo government, but hemi help him Yumi sabe look lo site lo one. Ba Yumi no sabe talem se Yumi sabe putum all towers plimi lo all ill where by making by spread out coverage. Ta you putumi ko then challenge play you emi all towers here all exposed to more stronger wind from any other space. Posua Yumi talem se Yumi ni team all pick fala antenna. Tamu you putumi go on top, you putum all pick fala antenna, and susceptible to all strong wind by balisa FSM all antenna all isabe tramplo withstand them all ketan. Of course, by me very challenging. So I mean I was saying first time say our country is very special. It's very special in terms of because of there are a number of factors that we need to look at in terms of designing our policies and as a result having good networks. I think supposed me if I can stop there and then allow others to. But of course, I mean we have submarine cable. We have submarine cable which can help to help us deliver. But again, submarine cable won't land in every villages in Vanuatu. Yes, and fiber optic. It's not easy to. I mean, it's not cheap to run fiber optic cables to every villages in Vanuatu.
Thank you, Director. You ways to follow. You got opportunity to ask him question too along Facebook page for Digital Week. So suppose you got iputum by Yumi sabe pick him up lo panel members so sabe answer him. Even the movie called Diraj. Diraj, you've got 2 questions, but I think we have a third. That I think first of all, maybe explain to us what Triple GI is, and then your 2 questions. This is one of them. What investment priorities are essential for long-term connectivity resilience in small island states? And the second or the third one would be, how can development partners support climate resilient digital infrastructure? I think the second question is crucial, but thank you. We'll give it to you now to answer these questions.
Thank you, moderator, for having us in this studio with us, and congratulations to you and the whole government of Vanuatu for leading this Digital Week. So, as the Global Green Growth Institute, we are an international intergovernmental organization. Vanuatu is a member of GGGI since 2014, and we have been running on-ground operations for the last 12 years. And what we typically do as GGGI is we support our member countries to transition into a model of development, which we define as green growth, or sustainable development is the other term that typically used. So we are looking at supporting governments to transition away from fossil fuel dependencies to move towards more resilient and stronger economies. And over the past 11 years here in Vanuatu, we have been embedded within the Ministry of Climate Change, where we have been supporting the various government of Vanuatu institutions on issues related to climate change, on policy making, developing strategies, action plans, also implementing projects to some extent, as well as most importantly, capacity building for stakeholders. I should also mention that our president and chair is Ban Ki-moon, the former UN Secretary General. So, and we have been working under his leadership and guidance over the last many years. Now, in terms of the topic of this week, which is on digital connectivity, so what we do as Triple GI is we work with the government to unlock the climate finance that is needed to implement the ideas. So we are running a very successful program, which we call it as a Climate Finance Access Network, or CFAN program. This is being funded by the Australian government. And as a part of this program, this is being implemented across the Pacific in many countries. So Vanuatu is one of the countries where CFAN is being implemented. And here in Vanuatu, we are trying to work with the Ministry of Climate Change as well as with the Department of Communications to develop a specific concept note on enhancing digital connectivity through using digital communication means. And this is where GGI comes in to identify the concept note, develop it into a bankable project, and submit it to different international partners. So one of the donors that we are targeting as a part of this opportunity is the Adaptation Fund, with SPREP as an executing entity. So this is an opportunity that we are trying to push forward, working closely with the government, working closely with the communities to get their inputs on what does it mean when we talk about digital communications, what do communities want, and getting the feedback right from the grassroots level, enhancing the concept note, putting it together, working with the stakeholders, validating it, and submitting it to various international donor partners. I should also mention that we have also implemented projects where in the past we looked at solar water pumps as a solution that provides community to provide access to water. But in the current phase of the program, which is being enhanced with support of the Australian and the UK governments, is now, along with providing the communities with solar water pumps, we are also making sure that the school and the health center within the community are also electrified. As a part of the electrification process, we are making sure that this infrastructure also receives the digital connectivity as well. So for example, the school children, there would be better educational outcomes, and for the healthcare facilities, there would be better health outcomes as well. So these are all remote communities located in the outer islands, very difficult to reach, hard to reach communities, but it's important that we stay connected with these communities so the people who are visiting these facilities, they receive both the educational and the health outcomes as well. So that's one of our projects that we have been implementing closely lately. But apart from that, there are also numerous opportunities where we collaborate very closely with the Ministry of Climate Change. I think one of the opportunities is to support the solarization of the health centers as well. And the Ministry of Health, last year, they have launched a Health National Adaptation Plan, or the HNAP. And as a part of the HNAP, they have identified several priorities in terms of enhancing connectivity for the health infrastructure. And as a part of the climate finance pipeline, we do have a concept note on how do we make sure that the healthcare facilities, both the primary and the secondary facilities, they are not just solarized, but they are also equipped with digital equipment in terms of to ensure there is seamless internet connectivity for better improved health outcomes. Similarly, we are also working with the government on identifying the communities which need in terms of preserving their crop and the fish. So for example, there are many outer islands in the communities where they don't have access to solar freezers. So we are putting together a concept note, and also we have conducted a feasibility study wherein we noticed that we are working very closely with the Department of Cooperatives. And one of the ideas is to make sure that the communities also get solar freezers so that they can store the fish and the crops, especially during the drought seasons. And as a part of these programs, we are also making sure that it's not just the community gets this piece of infrastructure, but how do we also enhance their digital connectivity as well? So access to infrastructure, we look at it in a very broader way. It's not just limited to the physical infrastructure, but making sure that the communities are connected and they get access to the markets as well, so that they are able to get better prices to their goods that they are producing within the communities. So I think these are the different kind of ideas. The ideas exist the ideas are there. They are well articulated in the national policies. So for example, the NDC, or the Nationally Determined Contribution of the Government of Vanuatu, it identifies a set of actions that the government needs to implement over the next 10 years. Similarly, the National Adaptation Plan, which is currently under development, it also identified a set of actions. So what we are trying to do as GGI is work very closely with the government and identify those actions, develop those bankable concept notes, and unlock the climate finance so that these ideas, they see the light of the day. I'll just stop here and maybe we can request the other panelists to come in as well.
Thank you, Diraj. We will have follow-up questions. So, just okay. We'll move to Niall from Interchange. You have two questions to answer, and the first one says, "How critical is submarine cable infrastructure to national resilience and economic stability?" The second is, "What safeguards ensure continuity during international connectivity disruptions?" Thank you, Niall.
Thank you, Andrew, and thanks everybody for organizing the week. So I'll just talk firstly on how critical are sea cables. And I'm going to talk, unfortunately, I don't speak Bislama well enough. I can understand it, but I'll speak in English and talk in US dollars, not Vanuatu. So firstly, how critical are sea cables to the global economy? Every day, $4 trillion flow through sea cables every day. So that's financial services, that is bookings. So to say it's critical is an understatement. Secondly, how quickly are sea cables being rolled out? So at the moment, there is 1.7 million kilometers of sea cable, and that would circumnavigate the planet. How many times? 40 times we would go around the equator. So to say this connectivity is critical is kind of highlighted and how quickly it's being rolled out. And you might ask the question, why is it being rolled out so quickly at the moment? And it's being powered by the AI revolution and the AI investment. So when people hear there's billions of dollars being invested in AI, part of that component is sea cables. So there's 4 companies own 50% of the sea cables in the world. Can anybody name what those 4 companies are? Microsoft, Google, Meta, and Amazon own 50% of the world's sea cables. So they are powering this. Obviously, they want to connect to data centers. So it is something that is really moving at a rapid rate. Last year alone, there was 250,000 kilometers of sea cable rolled out, probably about a 4 billion investment just in 2025. And probably the most important statistic, 99% of the internet goes through sea cables, not up in satellite that a lot of people think. So 99%, only 1% is done on satellite. So it is a critical component to every economy, and it is bridging the gap, as they always hear, digitally. A lot of the data centers are in California. So California, London, Singapore, and Portugal are kind of 4 of the key centers, and the globe is connected to that. So to explain how critical it is and how quick it is, so anybody here Australian? Okay, anybody here, say from Europe, and you want to see who won between Manchester United and Manchester City? The match is just over and you log on to the Manchester Daily Post. You will be getting that from a server in Manchester. So you're on your phone in Port Vila. That phone is connecting to the sea cable in Melee Beach. That sea cable connects to Fiji. Fiji connects to California. All the way through fiber in California connects probably to New York. New York connects to Ireland. Ireland connects to Manchester. And that is done in real time, in milliseconds. So we are traveling at the speed of light to get you that information, who won the match in real time. So this information is amazingly, like it's the speed of light that we provide to technology and sea cables. So it's, the demand is increasing. People's demand for data is unlimited, really. And everything, more and more services are going online. And say for Vanuatu, you might ask how critical it is. So If you are overseas and you want to book a hotel in Vanuatu, you'll probably use an online booking system that has a server in Sydney, and that connects to Vanuatu. So if the sea cable goes down, that whole system is interrupted. So the critical element is, I can't emphasize how critical it is and how every day it's becoming more and more important. And then the second question, how are we developing it? Essentially, are we being proactive or reactive? And obviously the earthquake highlighted how important it is to get a redundancy. That Tam sea cable now is in the process. So that should go live 2028. There is backup now with LEO satellites, with Starlink, and there's more LEO satellites coming with Amazon. So that will get better and better. And thirdly, just from our own point of view, we've access. So if there's a sea cable cut, say between Fiji and Vanuatu, we have to get a ship to sail out into the middle of the sea and fix it. So one, we have contracts with ships to do it immediately. They're based in Singapore. So instead of taking weeks negotiating the price, we've a contract to activate that ship to get to the Pacific. We would say 3 to 4 days. And we've access to funds because there is a huge cost to fix it. And we have immediate funds to pay for that. So instead of taking weeks, if there is a sea cable cut, will take a matter of days. And if we have the second sea cable, it gives us redundancy because it's all interconnected. So I think since the earthquake, there's been major measures taken to improve that. So I would confidently say that we're in a better position now than we were in December 2024.
Thank you, Thomas, Niall. Baimi kolo final speak up mi hemi Sarah makatni. Sarah hemi no new lo Vanuatu, hemi local. Baimi let him hemi introduce him, but him by he talk about him regional perspective, lo connected world. We got 2 questions whereby Yumi ask him Lahem. First one, how can regional collaboration strengthening digital how can regional collaboration strengthen digital resilience in among Pacific countries? The second one would be, what regional platforms enhance disaster coordination and data sharing? Sarah is our country director for SPC. So thank you, Sarah. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Thomas, and good afternoon, Lolgeta. Me by me half English or Bislama, because this is a technical conversation. I couldn't answer any of Neil's questions, but really pleased to be here on behalf of the Pacific Community, or SPC. SPC is a science and technology Pacific organization of which Vanuatu joined in 1981. We are 79 years old and we are directed by our member countries as to what we pay attention to. It is no surprise that digital transformation, digital solutions and connectivity are very high on that list. But for us, digital resilience is not just about the technology. It's about the systems, the trust, and of course, the people. Everything that we do, we put people at the heart of the matter. And I'm really pleased to hear from other panelists who've put people at the center of their work and also highlighted the importance of digital literacy. And I think one of the questions I'd like to hear from others is, are we preparing the young people of today to be able to support digital resilience in Vanuatu? From Emia, Mimi Olfala Finis. Emia, I said, I went to a computer lab at Malapore College in 1980 something, and I had the C. prompt. Wasn't for me. I thought, no, computers, connections, not for me. I missed my opportunity. So ting blumi say me a little discussion on digital week here. Say how now, but you say encourage him or young fella. All fella too. Block more skills, but make him sure say all connectivity and understand. Because a lot of these things sometimes say, oh, I may he's strong to mas for me, lo sabe. But I think it's really important that we make that connection. From a regional perspective, we're all small countries. We're all quite special. We're all in the big ocean of the Pacific. So what's really important is actually sharing digital platforms, something that can be sustained, something that can be resourced as well. From Emya, we've heard from Niall how much it costs to be resilient, how much it costs to be connected. Is it worth the investment? Yes, it is. But do we have all the resources? I don't think we can all bring a ship from Singapore at that cost. In the Pacific regional situation, there's a lot of solidarity across the nations. And as a Pacific regional organization, SPC, and we got responsibility to support them or something else. And I talk after behind too, there's some little shared platform. Yeah, it based on open access data. So we have Pacific Data Hub, which has a lot of data sets that governments have allowed guardianship of, and that can be accessed on approval of government. And those data sets might be on demographics, on disaster, economics, etc., etc. But available all. You got one platform named Digital Earth Pacific. And we based on open access data, and we've built that with different satellite, thousands and thousands and thousands, I don't know the numbers of images. So by you say you go look Island Blue, Straight Village Blue, by you say look 2012, go in 2023, because that's when the data is freely available. How now say coastal inundation, loss of mangrove change, flooding, etc. And plus something you say make your own analytics blue falla. So I suppose you know got trust blow naraman, blow talawan something, but you say make them. So it's a very useful tool for students, more governments alike. Second one very important regional cooperation is strengthening data stewardship. Governance is really important in digital resilience. So you need to be able to understand how its data is collected, how it's managed, and how it is used. And now digital literacy and good governance. I talk about small intervention blumi. From Emia, you mean must service one Emia data isatalem. You miss our wait lo wanaraman italem lo se Emia blemia. But do you have confidence? Do you have trust? And I think Vanuatu's Digital Week, after with the Department of Digital Transformation, one very good step with Vanuatu garem. Vanuatu, one stranger blow by me go first time. Vanuatu is a pioneer in many situations, and I think the digital investment is something that we have yet to see in another country. I think Tuvalu, another country where we become one digital nation. I'll get that. It just make one ministry, Minister of Digital and Innovation. The Vanuatu, go ahead finish. So I think it got full up opportunity, all different government or historian with them all get that. So how now you start working, who you good fellow partner, etc. And last one when we want to tell him, so blow experience, blow SPC, blow regional cooperation. One big one, yeah, say, but you must support them or strong national system. From regional, one basket or different country, lo Pacific. But you must learn each one country. So suppose Vanuatu, you got one strong national system. Now you start sharing with them Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, etc. But me give one small example. Vanuatu, which Vanuatu should be very proud of. Vanuatu Bureau of Statistics. work with the World Bank and with the SPC, blo design an own system blo geta, blo how now blo side blo disaster preparedness, lo real-time reporting, lo 72 area councils. One moment. Sorry, I've got sinus and I'm tickling my throat. And sorry. We only design them so that it's Vanuatu managed and Vanuatu maintained. So you not got need to depend on external man. But something too very important. And we blow how now blow connect with them cable or satellite by all accessibility too from EMEA. You may make assumptions to man only sabe read, only sabe look, only sabe hear. But everyone good fellow walk, but it can only get better. And we have to meet one really important thing is by you mean I'm using stop thinking like digital resilience. You mean must think about all man love village. So meaning one who am I connecting to? Am I getting good information? Because if we make systems where majority of Vanuatu can't access, we are not being resilient. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. By me, you got follow-up questions lo each panel. So by me ko one round by again. So thank you so much, lo director. We me share with you some directives more briefly from. I got full of something lo talk about. But me ask small, mo im tell small from small time. But this morning, the session this morning, if I start with the mall operators, and there was something where I stop asking was government is support them connectivity issue, and also it got all get a law emergency response, law Red Cross, okay, the two only. We will learn from this morning that Olkata no got one alternative network where Bali usum lo time lo disaster. Even HF radio or cat. So, and one of the things we Olkata tu olitalem hemi olinokat support from the Vanuatu government. And one of that is you take them out customs he apply tax exempt way start before he remove them. And he may also maybe one step backward for them. But maybe some of the questions where maybe by director maybe not respond directly, but give him something to him. The other one, well, operators only talk about plan them energy with them access to something. With the government, have a look law support law energy maybe Diraj by me come back you back in but maybe directly may answer first time energy and also sharing of infrastructure ways of minimize them all cost law connectivity. I think Hemena question one him to do with the energy infrastructure connect, and also the third one is the support for emergency responses. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. These are very important questions that we get from the operators as well as citizens in general about connectivity, affordability, and resilient connectivity that could stand during emergencies. We know we've rolled out a program called the Universal Access Program for the government. I don't like to say this, but I must say it. The Universal Access Program is like I would say in places, in islands or villages where the operators find it not profitable to operate business in those places. It's more like when they first roll out the service, it's like a false hope to the people. They come in, they roll out. After 6 months, they are not able to sustain the service. So I was in one of the villages in a very remote place in Vanuatu, and that is the comment that we get from the chiefs. They said they come, they roll out, we are happy for a month, and then the network went down, and then they never come back to put it back up. So emi one particular challenge, and only looking more time where you make at all disaster. And I recall this very well in 2021 when that cyclone hit Sando, Pentecost, Maiwo, Ambai, Cyclone Arol. We spent a large amount of time to write a PTNA report, and we never get any funding from the government to support the mobile network operators to recover back from the cyclone. And not just that, but in 2024, when we had the earthquake, we're still struggling to recover back from the earthquake, and thanks to our development partner for supporting us. So yes, it's really a challenge, and that is why when we are now looking at building new policies and strategies for the government, we're just not looking at connectivity alone. We have to look at it from and I agree with Sarah that we have to get the people into the center of our policies, and we address these other issues. We must not just address it just because of connectivity. We must address it perspective looking how by helping life people, and that is where we were running another program called the Smart Island program with support from International Telecommunication Union, where we just don't look at connectivity, but we look at the digital literacy as being a major component of making sure that our islands are smart. So and it has more bigger effect in terms of people are not just accessing connectivity, but are making good use of connectivity to access information that is available, and then started to generate new economic activities. And it has much more bigger impact in that way. So that is where we are coming from now with the Department of Communications and Digital Transformation. One thing that is creeping into issues with telecommunication or mobile network coverage now, it's what they call user cap, where people have access to technology, they have access to mobile phones, but they're not using it because there's nothing more than just a Facebook or YouTube. Yes. So one big challenge to Yumi Vanuatu, and we have to create a demand-driven connectivity instead of just providing just connectivity. We have to create a demand, and who's going to create a demand? It's us. For example, local content. We are still struggling with the local content. All services flow Yumi. Government services to be available online. We're still struggling with that. We thought that scanning a form as a PDF and have it available to be downloaded and then print, fill up the form, and then you still have to run with that PDF, that document to an office. We need to sort that one out. So we need to create a demand connectivity rather than just providing connectivity. And thanks to, I respect the work that we're doing in making sure that we have connectivity via submarine cable, we have connectivity via microwave links, we have connectivity via the LEOs, the low Earth orbits, but there's another side of the thing that we need to address as well, so that people only make a good use of that connectivity. And then where the operators are coming in, we will continue to support them because there's a demand. Yes, but unfortunately now in Vanuatu, you call full up remote areas, people only just need to make a call. Oh, now we start look slowly. They're coming up, accessing Facebook, which is good. But we need more. We need more. I hope you answer the question right.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We got full up something to answer, but thank you, Flo. By me move ko dirats ba akin lo triple GI. thank you for what you have mentioned. Okay, before we go to Diraj, we have a question online from Tony Tamata to TRBR. Is sea cable a feasible solution to Vanuatu's poor network connectivity between the islands? Although expensive, and now is there an end to that? So we have a question on submarine cable. Probably, I think what they meant probably would be the domestic connections cables in Vanuatu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe Niall, would you like to? I know there's Tam Tam coming, and what would be the impact of the connection from Tutana to Efate, Malekula, and Santo?
Yeah, it's a good question. So with domestic sea cables connecting Malekula, Tana, and Santo, it improves the amount of data that can go through, because at the moment that is sent via what we call microwave, which is so if it's a bottle, you're pouring the bottle, the microwave is the bottleneck. So with a sea cable, that opens. So microwave's quite expensive and it's very limited. So maybe 1 gig, 2 gigs max. Whereas when you open domestic sea cables, you're increasing it 5-fold, 10-fold. So it will make a big difference. But like what John is saying, it's only one component. So we connect to the data to the landing station, say in Malekula. The mobile network operators, whoever, then need to also invest, because they will have to connect fiber to those towers, and then you can beam down more capacity. So I think what Sarah said, it is important there's collaboration, because you can't work in isolation, and there's this big investment and people haven't prepared for it. So it's good communication, speaking that this is happening. So that is happening at the moment. We're talking what capacity will be in those 3 islands in Malekula, Tana, and Santo. So it's kind of preparing. That will go live in 2028. And then, as John also said, this is where we improve the literacy data, literacy rates. So there is a demand there. So what's the point of doing all this investment if we're just beaming Facebook in? Like, is that really what the world needs? Exactly. So we want to improve government service. People can pay their taxes. They don't need to get boats over to collect money if they're teachers. So all these things suddenly come online and improves people's productivity. And most importantly, people's standard of living. So like, it's important that the internet improves people's standards of living, both through education, through e-health, through online financial services. And if this is all coordinated correctly with government support, it has to be a government initiative, and that is happening. So I'm pretty enthusiastic and confident. Come 2028, the landscape will be quite different, because I was here myself in 2007 when Digicel launched. And I'd actually come from Papua New Guinea. And I remember I was over in Malekula and I could not send an email to say, okay, this is the site. And we actually had satellite phones. And a satellite phone for a 3-minute call was about $100. So it was extraordinarily expensive. So things are improving, and we're not saying they're perfect, but it's, working events like this week, working with the mobile network operators, seeing where the need is, and working towards a goal. So I'm pretty confident. That's a very good question. How we'll make a change? We'll make a significant change for the better, because it will become more affordable as well. At the moment, there's a bottleneck. Affordability needs to improve. I think prices will significantly go down. So would I be confident that 2028, I think, will be the reflection point for Vanuatu, like a big difference, say, compared to 2018.
Thank you, Niall. I think, thank you, Lo question, yeah. I think by director, he confirmed too, say, ikat tol work in progress ista ko, ikat plan de interest lo yumi connectable islands, pe hemi sta lo government, lo hemi mekem, hemi look se ikat nit, yumi sta work towards all goals, na maybe pa mi give small time le, maybe interact, it look question na mo bro, lo isabi give one small thing le.
Thank you, Thomas, moderator. Lol fuse me, pace lo question where me come. Yes, a mino chip, lo ranem submarine cable, lo connect them 1 to 4 islands or somewhere now we look. But thank you, lo all partners, and thank you, lo Prima with them ICL, mo all shareholders plo ICL, lo make them decision plo talem si Yumi Karem International cable ikam, also redundancy lo first cable, but also play extended mi lo all islands plo Yumi. Also may one example, microwave link or link where you cut between Evate with Aeromango. Lo full up conversations you missed up cut or little say EMEA meet the longest microwave link the world. So should we be proud of that? Maybe. But the opportunity there is let's connect this with submarine cable. From Yumi Lukim capacity or capability where step down lo south lo economic development and Yumi look lo site ya. So cost plo run submarine cable by Yumi talem say although by him very expensive lo beginning, but we will be seeing return of lo investment ya. And also plo connect them Malakula with them Sando. Yes, very challenging lo time we invest disaster, time we looking time FAT mi off lo 2024. Pe Sando you're right no mo. Pe Yumi talem se full country mi close down. So suppose we got one cable where me connect them and me provide them one connectivity colo south, sorry colo north. By business only sabe operate out from lo Sando while Yumi lo villa Yumi stop recover. So back lo question, yes, semi expensive. Pe again mi ko back lo point where mi talem the first place. We are a very special country. And by Yumi must consider everything lo site lo how Yumi looking plo Yumi develop country plo Yumi. Some places by me expensive, but Yumi must look ko beyond lo cost plo Yumi looking mo opportunities we stop plo make say Yumi site lo development where mi best lo suitim country plo Yumi to. By Yumi to no sabe fright lo cost. By Yumi to mas committee Yumi somehow somewhere. From people lo all islands only need him connectivity. You me everyone you need to work together to develop country play too.
Thank you too much, Director. Okay, back to Director Diraj. So thank you for your intervention earlier. I am interested in what you said about having an overall approach in one location and opportunity and. I think I have asked the director before about the energy aspect of that. So, is it viable to say that if you're connecting a community, if there's a need to connect power to a tower which is not too far from that community, could that be also included in your business case? And that might be, more sort of reasonable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew, for raising that question. I think what we do as GGI in collaboration with the government is we take a whole of government, whole of society approach in terms of developing these bankable project ideas. So when we are doing a scoping of a particular project, we are not just looking at solving that problem, but also trying to look at what are the other issues that we can potentially resolve. So when we talk about providing access to water to community, it's not just providing access to water, but what can we do in terms of digital connectivity? How do we help the digital connectivity in enhancing their educational and health outcomes, especially when it comes to digitizing the health centers as well. So we do definitely take a whole of society approach in identifying and coming up with solutions which are also attractive to donors, and they also respond to the community needs in a better way rather than identifying one problem and finding just solution for that problem instead of looking at a very broader lens. Also, I mean, I would also like to highlight another a bit of an idea that we are currently developing is around enhancing digital connectivity for early warning systems. This is something that we are currently developing. We are looking at, of course, you can have these towers that can provide reliable communications to enhance disaster preparedness. But how do we also ensure that these towers or the towers are connected with electricity with a 24/7 system? So there needs to be a backup 24 solar panel with a battery energy storage system, so that we are better prepared when we have disasters coming in and the communications are rolled out in a timely and efficient manner. So we are also trying to develop opportunities around that can resolve these kind of challenges as well. And of course, it's also important that, as the director was highlighting, that we need to generate the demand from the community. And as a part of this holistic approach, we are also looking at how do we enhance the skills, or how do we create a demand for digital learning? How do we ensure that the communities are also equipped with the right economic opportunities so that the demand gets generated in the process? So I think this is what we are trying to do, so that at the end of the day, when we talk about green growth or sustainable development, we are not just talking about connectivity, but also making sure that the communities are uplifted from the poverty, the quality of life improves, they have better outcomes in terms of health, education, digital connectivity, etc. So yeah, that's the approach that we typically take. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhiraj. I believe we're looking forward to these approaches. Bamikamlo, you, Sarah, before you make more final interventions. You've been talking about Plan Day, and one of the things that SPC has is data. Very good data where hemi karem and collect them. Also, hemi got also one hemi shabisherem lo all Pacific Islands. Me remember I got one. I'm not sure whether it's still there. The SOPAC, South Pacific Applied Geoscience Commission. I'm not sure whether that is still there, but it might have not been there. But that is one technical part of SPC when we provide them a lot of data, especially to do with them GIS and that. But the question would be, what data is there for the governments, which is will elaborate a little bit more, and also for the individual? One man where hemi staff lo anywhere lo not hemi one day access one data. Is there any data that hemi people no more, and also it got government?
Okay, I'll start with the easy question first. SOPAC, hemi come inside the SPC lo 2012. Now I named him inside the one team inside the SPC, hemi geoscience, energy, and maritime services. So I'll get all he's still making the same work, less so much on the sort of like the economic and the fuel aspects, but only got one team below, I think 150 below different types of science inside law, that including the Digital Earth Pacific, which provides the geospatial data that's open access. Below, I'll say SPC got full up data from Yumi Olfala a little bit, lo Pacific. But data in below SPC. Yumi start steward or guardian below data or data, yes, that belong to all country. And some of that now in the digital age is from the storage, so that we can have as a backup system. And that data always belongs to country. So some will say free lol man below you so by you go on top of Pacific Data Hub. Will got restriction lahem. You must write the color country below ask him suppose you say access or some spot you one research student or something else them. So but all data set Stagger data set. So sorry, came from Solo and PNG last week, so we start big set pitching me small. But any something below side of disasters, below coastal flooding, below tuna science modeling, where are the fish, where are the digital towers, all of that. Most of it is open access, but below side below SPC, we try to put them below one place. So from before, I said, maybe below generation where you must get them out telephone, but you put them cable below you after you say below try to make them connection below internet. So one effort below making sure say accessibility below all man below government, all man below private sector, all man below school, all you say access them. And I mean, I'm surprised sometimes, say, oh, Pacific, you know, got enough data. See, Yumi got data, but are we getting the right data? Are we knowing how to use it? Are we making that demand? And me agree too much with the Mulman, say, and me all big investment, but after, but you start look Facebook. Vanuatu will use this gift of internet wisely. But I think too, you got one chance. Vanuatu start reviewing national development plan him. Last one year, we karimimi payumi ko kasem 2030. Me no look digital nothing inside. Send me one opportunity. Blow. I mean, you start like 21st century now. Say, is that an opportunity? Blow. You put them like that: data, statistics, evidence, digital. So you make a chance now, and I think no, I was saying 2028 is an opportunity. So there's a lot of coming together or convergence of opportunities. I think it's one thing to have data, it's one thing to have connectivity, but suppose you may know you soon, bamba you may lose soon, or sing blow an Andy before.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you, panelists. I will give you probably a minute each to do your final remarks, maybe a final intervention. We'll start with Niall, and then we'll come to Sarah, Diraj, and then the director to conclude.
I've brought some sea cable with me, so I don't think people, if you're watching, and I'll pass it to the panelists and to yourself, Andrew, it's actually tiny. It's the size of a broom handle. So this is what there's 1.7 million kilometers of. So it's very small and extraordinarily strong and robust. So this is what 99% of the internet actually goes through. So as a product and development, you know, it's been around for a while. We're celebrating this week, as you know, the TRBR, we're actually World ITU Week. The ITU was set up in 1865 in Paris. So it's been around a long, long time. And it was set up initially for the telegraph. So the telegraph was the kind of first connectivity for the globe. And now we've sea cables. And I've gone to quite a few global conferences. And the next stage of development is what they're talking about is lasers being shot from space. And that laser will be like what we use in the sea cables. So that technology is actually happening. At the moment, it's not cost effective, but it will get there. So I'd say in probably by 2040, that will be the next sort of development. And you know, they're talking about having global advertising, that you look up where the stars used to be for decades and centuries. There will be adverts. So, yeah, and that is not far away, guys. So you will be looking up at the sky and probably seeing an advert for Tesla. So Netflix maybe. So the world is changing. And as Sarah said, I'm working with John and the people here. I think 2028 is something to be excited about. It is that collaboration, it's the communication, and making sure that, you know, when it does arrive, that it's not just something that people use as a, you know, social media. We want to have e-health. We want to have, you know, banking services. Like it really, when we go here and I see people queuing in a bank, my blood boils, because that's a complete waste of time. It should be all online. And it's great that the Department of Finance, I think they're launching this week QR codes. That's a big step in the right direction. So a lot of effort and energy goes into these things. So all those people need to be applauded, because it just doesn't happen. It's with determination and effort. So from us as private sector, we applaud those, because that's what generates and consumes our data that we're providing. So we'd like to congratulate, you know, that's a big thing. And there's a few more announcements this week, which I think will make a difference to Vanuatu. So everybody involved in them, and John is one of the key kind of instigators So I know John, I try and meet him sometimes. He has many, many meetings. He's a busy man, but there's a reason he's busy, because he's working to improve. So I look forward to being part of it. And it is an exciting thing. It's quite rewarding to see when these things bear fruit. That's what we're here for. So thanks, Andrew, and thanks for the questions.
Thank you, Niall. Sarah.
I'll just pass this around. So maybe, Sarah, if you're on your...
Last words. First of all, thank you again, moderator, panel, and the team behind the screen for having an opportunity to contribute to the conversation. I think I've actually learned more than I contributed today. And it's really everyone good fella message, but looks at private sector is up, government is up, our regional organization, international organization is up, come together. And I think that cooperation, that trust, Vanuatu. And I think maybe my takeaway is it's really important that we use that connectivity for good. It's there, like lines in the bank, lines at UNELCO. I still have a button phone too. That was very useful. I think analog has had its time. There's a few of us who know how to use it. I mean, Yumi Storian say one small story analog past. They blow make him say, you must not fright blow connectivity. You must not fright lo try more something new, different little bit. But I'm just supposed to give him more time blow you, blow stop with them family, or blow make him more something where you want to walk in. It can only be for the good. But Emia, you must got trust, lol partners, you must got trust, lol data, and you must encourage him, all young fella, lol from Emia life will get that. Now we're with people who have never known life without internet. Yeah. And I think that's one thing, Vanuatu with a young population, we have to think about, say, Emia, you got all smart young fella stuff, all the innovation, all connectivity. So let's get ready. Let's be ready for 2028. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Sarah. Grazie.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And I would also like to echo the fellow panelists as well. We have great opportunities. I think it's important that Vanuatu needs to realize and make use of these opportunities. Considering that more than 60% of the population, they are young population, and if we don't utilize this, the population dividend is something that the country will lose very quickly. And I think I would say that let's not, while we look at 2028 as a milestone, we need to make sure that how well prepared are we to kind of take advantage of all these infrastructure developments. And it's important because the disasters, they don't wait. Vanuatu is one of the most vulnerable countries. They happen all the time. Education, healthcare, commerce, banking, the government services, everything needs to be improved. And this needs to be done at speed and scale. And I don't think we can afford to lose any time. And it's important that we take a whole of government and a whole of society approach in trying to develop these holistic projects that can support the country in meeting multiple targets, not just one target at a time. And this is where partners like us, we are very fortunate to work with the government of Vanuatu and the various departments, and also the communities to help us identify these projects, to stitch together. And it's important that we all come together and we also start enhancing the speed and the scale of delivering these projects. I think that would be the biggest takeaway from me. But I would also like to thank the Digital Week for organizing events like this, so that there is more awareness raised, so that people, the online subscribers who are tuning into this program today, there is a bit of a takeaway for them, so that they are also getting prepared for the outcomes that are awaiting them.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Finally, Director, thank you.
So me want them taking time and tell them thank you lo Yumi everyone, all partners, and especially having interchange in the panel and the SPC and Triple TI. Thank you too much where Yumi have work together. Lo make them say development may happen lo country to Yumi. Sarah, just for your information, yes, it's true. NSTP, there was nothing to. There was actually nothing. It's very small. Only talk about no more percentage change in terms of access to online services. But the good news is thank you to some UN agencies who came in and we've developed KPIs for the Digital Transformation Master Plan, and this will be included in the review of the National Sustainable Development. So you may look forward to EMEA, and mi walay tell them thank you lo Vanuatu Bureau of Statistics, lo support them Department of Communications and Digital Transformation, lo mekem se Yumi sabe mesurem impact lo digital transformation or mostly performance pro national National Digital Transformation Master Plan. May Mr. Woklem now ya. Also now we are two Yumi stop work lo one Yumi kolem data exchange layer plo government lo Vanuatu plo mekem se Yumi save integratem all government systems will stop with them all trivala foundational databases where you need in lo country. One civil registry, number two land registry, number three business registry. So all kita trivala ya na only foundational databases plo you sabe look lo development lo country, and through lo data exchange layer by Yumi sabe integrate all private business all systems lo private as well as lo government. Lo one way where data sabe flow in between all kita. So we're talking about use of data. Yes, from Yumi collect them you could pe Yumi need to use plo people plo Yumi sabe measure development. Emena one will something we work them. Nara something once time we talk about connectivity, let's not forget about the other side of connectivity in terms of impact blehem lo life lo people. So we are working with partners to increase protection of our cyberspace Yumi, and me want something where me stop to lo work with Mr. Megan Yumi no must forget them. And me want them take time up lo tell them thank you lo all critics will start come online about all development initiatives where you start making lo site lo connectivity, but most importantly lo site lo services lo online. Me want them put to say it's not just the government, it's just not the private sector, it's all of us. Yes, so all of government plus all of society approach now by driving development lo country me. Suppose we sit down back and just criticize and complain, by him na sabi move country me too. Of course, complain you could, criticism too you could, one way, but it has to be constructive. So you may encourage him everyone. Suppose you got one small something below tell him, lo how you think say best you sabi approach him development. Office lo Yumi lo Department of Communications and Digital Transformation staff, one government department, one public office, feel free to come plo mekem plo man no liharem fuse plo you. By going on social media and criticizing, I think somebody me discourage empathy. But me want them take time. Lastly, moderator, sorry, me say me take full of time finish. But I want to thank our development partners. I want to thank our private development partners, our company also ICL, Vodafone, TCL, Mall Narawan, so I mention them everyone. Thank you too much for support wala. Thank you too much for him say work together. And lastly, thank you lo all sponsors for Digital Week. Where only seven mekem possible lo you sabe come sit down together, and me look forward lo everyone lo come part lo Digital Week as nirache mitalem one platform where you make awareness, you me talk about one best lo country, and you me looking one all opportunities where stop, and then you me work together you me develop country you me. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas Director. Well, Yumi kam lo end lo Storian lo Yumi. Thank you, you start follow. And me believe say you learn one something out lo all expert play me, well you represent them different organization. And thank you to my all panelists, Neil, Niall, Sarah, Diraj, with them director. Thank you to much lo time lo you. Me believe say me share them some very, very important information where people from Vanuatu, me harem, and me believe say all is have a use. Thank you Tomas tu lo o kata lo production we sabe pewa te mi fala la Island Sun Pictures. Thank you lo host mi fala lo this afternoon and we believe that by you got one good fala digital week this week. Please feel free to come lo Independence Park lo next few days lo you sabe part lo celebration. Thank you Tomas.